Hi, love. I have a tough question for you. Are you ready? That wasn't it. Oh, that really blew my momentum. Okay, let's start over. Here's my question. Do you want your life to change? And if your answer is yes, then my response is prove it. Prove it. Now that probably feels harsh, and I imagine triggers a fair amount of you, but do you know what part of you is triggered? The part of you that is lying about wanting to change, because I just called it out. Change is so highly romanticized. Hallmark is taking notes for movie ideas. We have this notion that change is this euphoric, epic journey where we get to slay big things with dramatic, breathtaking action that afterwards people immediately applaud while we humbly bow. The reality is, it's often a lot of teeny little steps that look very similar, or are the exact same ones over and over again. And usually it sucks in the thick of it because we are shifting out of a pain that was created to protect us from a much greater pain or fear of a greater pain. And remember how your brain will purposefully re-traumatize you to keep you in a known pattern of survival? So not only is most change not glorious in the process, not only is it pushing against very sore, deep hurts, but your brain is also telling you you can't do it and you're dumb for trying. Yay, change, high fives. Oh. This is why, even though we know we aren't happy where we are, we stay. This is why, even though we know there's a better place to climb to, we don't. But you aren't doomed, love. What you lack here isn't ability. You need knowledge and tools and your own determination. That's it. That's what you need to make it. So I was recently told that I'm good at sales, and my immediate response was to feel mildly defensive. Then I laughed at myself because I realized why I responded that way. It was the wording. I do what I do to inspire, not to sell. To me, selling meant that I had to convince you of something, which to me means something you might regret later once you realize it was more my agenda than your own. It was meant as a compliment, and I'm grateful for it, as well as the light that it shone on my bias to the word sales, because seriously, I do have a business, and to stay in business, I do need sales. So what led me to making a video about this experience is that I want you to know how deeply what I sell means to me and why I'm so passionate about what I do. Viktor Frankl is a man who has a book compiled of experiences through a concentration camp. One of his stories is of a young woman about to die. To quote, pointing through the window of the hut, she said, "This tree here is the only friend I have in my loneliness." Through that window, she could see just one branch of a chestnut tree, and on that branch were 2 blossoms. Now, think about that. This woman, going through this terrible pain of her death, was so alone. She had befriended a tree branch for companionship, and I understand this because mine was a journal. It was my only friend, and I had times where I was too weak to lift up my hand, to grip the pen, to write sentences in it, so I would just hold it. I was about 10. I didn't get to die when I wanted to, and I had years when I wanted to escape the pain, to escape being such a terrible burden on my family, to escape the humiliation of what my life was, because I could see absolutely no benefit to me being alive for anyone, to escape the loneliness of being alone in the reality of what was my world. My family was around, they interacted with me, but they got to turn and leave the room and do other things. I was sick for 17 years, and for a lot of that, I could see no value in my life. My life is different now for 3 reasons. 1, other people spoke up when they thought they had something that could help. 2, people took time to educate and empower me so that I could shift my life. 3, I became brave enough to leave that space, and it wasn't easy, not at first. Change is still uncomfortable, but I know the dance now, and I trust the steps even when they don't feel good. My life now is so rich. I have the most incredible child who is seriously the most fun person to hang out with ever. I have discovered passions and interests that I get to explore daily. I have deep, meaningful connections with incredible people. My body is strong and healthy in a place that I now love being every day. And the present me wants to hold the past me tightly and say to her, hang in there. You have no idea what amazing things are coming. I hold myself back when I talk about the products that I sell and the services that I provide. I worry about being too passionate and overwhelming the person listening. I don't consider myself a salesman. I am a trauma revolutionist. I enlisted these tools as pathways to assist my very large agenda of finding you the person who is feeling me through this, because some part of you knows some part of my past. And I so passionately want to share the joy of where I get to be now. I want you here in this present with me. I speak passionately because I believe what I'm sharing has great value, and it literally changes lives. I already know this. I speak this passionately for you, so you can know this. I can do 2 of those things for you, love, but you have to do the 3rd. You have got to be brave enough to change. So please, prove it.